Captain Meanie went on an adventure and we stayed on the land today, but we got to learn all about some underwater stuff. So we hung out with Stephen and Underwater Archaeology Branch and got to see some office space, some of the research areas, dive equipment, and some amazing artifacts and great stories to share with you all. So stay tuned, ask your questions in the comments or send us a message. And as always, if you have an idea of where we should adventure next, let us know.
Hi, my name is Stephen Atkinson. I'm the Assistant State Underwater Archaeologist here at the North Carolina Underwater Archaeology Branch, based in Curry Beach, next to Fort Fisher. What we do here at UAB is essentially manage and record and do archaeology on all of the state of North Carolina's submerged cultural resources. So in order to understand our state's submerged cultural resources and how best to respond to an exposed shipwreck or an archaeological site found by the public, we maintain an extensive shipwrecks archive. Now, this is all digitized, however, but if you want to, it's open for research by request, and it's something that we use to better understand the wrecks that we find on a daily basis. So a new program we're trying to adapt here at UAB for the state of North Carolina is the STAMP project, the Archaeological Shipwreck Tagging Program. And what that does is it helps us track the movements of exposed beach wrecks and their single timbers as well, basically whatever we decide to put a tag on, a tag just like this. This is the prototype. And this will be able to link you through a QR code to a web form that you can fill out, and that'll go into a database to help us track our submerged archaeological resources. So a tag such as this will be sandwiched between two layers of plexi and then glued and nailed to a wreck timber. Something a little bit like that. And that's where it'll remain. So this is UAB's Archaeological Room of Recording. So this is basically everything we need to record an archaeological site, from surveying to locate the site to all the tools we need to map it out. So we have, in these three boxes is our side scan sonar system. Down here is our magnetometer that'll help us find iron anomalies such as cannon or anchors. These are handheld metal detectors. And then the analog stuff, so tape reels, folding rules, slates, pretty much everything you need to set a baseline and record a shipwreck. So this is our dive locker. So aside from all the recording equipment you just saw, this is what we need to use that recording equipment underwater. So these are our buoyancy control devices, our regulators, our wetsuits, fins, mask and snorkel. It's all here and it's all ready to go. So in order to better communicate with your dive buddy when mapping an archaeological site, one of the best and easiest tools we use to do that is these full face masks that have a comm mask. And all you need to do is press this button and it'll communicate what you're saying to a person on the top side with headphones on, and they can communicate to your partner what needs doing. So in order to use that scuba equipment and use that survey equipment, we need boats. And this is the current underwater archaeology fleet. We have Snapdragon, which is our Parker with offshore capabilities, and we have this brand new Coastal Skiff 212 that we can use in rivers, intercoastal, and shallow sandbar prone areas that Snapdragon can't get to. One of the collections we maintain here at the Underwater Archaeology branch is the vast majority of the materials that were excavated from the modern Greece back in the 60s. Now, the excavation of this wreck was essentially the founding of our office and the founding of state-based underwater archaeology in North Carolina. Now, all these artifacts are stored in a proper solution of a 5% sodium carbonate that essentially prevents them from further corrosion. At this time, there aren't any plans to finish conservation just because of the vast amount of materials that were raised and the costs thereof to treat. However, they are a great teaching tool. So like I mentioned earlier, one of our state's most abundant resources when it comes to maritime archaeology is our beach wrecks. Now, those wrecks could be entire shipwrecks, they could be chunks of the lower hull, or they could be individual timbers. Now, our office has essentially become a repository for folks that have found these disarticulated timbers over the years, and this is just a sample of some of the wreck timbers that we find. What we have is a variety of different parts of ships, from longer floor timbers, which are essentially the base of the frames of the ship near the spine, the keel. We have lengths of planking, and we also have stern posts, stem posts, rudders, you name it.